I'm Allison June Mabe, Governmental Affairs Program Manager, here with Joe Stewart, Governmental Affairs Chief Advocacy Officer. This week at the General Assembly on Wednesday, the House Republicans overrode 4 more of Governor Josh Stein's vetoes, enacting 3 bills into law and sending 1 into the Senate for final approval. 3 of the bills restrict or ban diversity, equity, and inclusion programs and policies in state and local government, public schools, and higher education. The 4th bill is an immigration enforcement measure that directs state law enforcement agencies to work with ICE and allow federal agents to train state officers. This was possible because swing voting legislators, Representative Cunningham and Representative Willingham, were not present on the House floor, which lowered the voting threshold from 72 to 71, allowing the GOP to override all 4 vetoes.
Oh, Allison June, it was quite the fireworks when all that happened. There's one bill left on the agenda that was overridden by the governor last year dealing with guns and lowering the age from 21 to 18 for gun ownership and removing the requirement for permitting. Speaker Hall said he wasn't sure he had the votes to override that one yet, so we'll wait and see. A number of other things happened this week in terms of legislation. The budget still on schedule to come out next week, but few of the items that are on our watch list had action. House Bill 315, which bans third-party litigation financing, was signed by the governor, put into law, or first state, North Carolina, to ban such financing of civil action. So we're very proud of our participation in that initiative led by the North Carolina Chamber. The bill with our provisions in it, House Bill 356, did pass the Senate, and as we reported last week, we were successful in removing the provision that had been added regarding the ability to call for arbitration in disputes over UM and UIM claims, which is something the carriers had said felt would be expensive. There was a omnibus transportation bill, House Bill 1094, included a number of provisions, including a statutory definition for e-bikes. I've heard from some agents this is now an issue as people seek coverage for those to be able to have it written into statute what an e-bike is. Senate Bill 1047 is a massive regulatory reform bill, not necessarily directly impacting agents, but a lot of changes to regulatory systems in the state to try to lower the cost of doing business. Senate Bill 1001, one of the bills that was put forward to deal with property management issues on the coast, really arising out of the phenomenon of houses falling into the ocean on the Outer Banks. And then Senate Bill 595, the omnibus tax change provisions. It was a conference report, meaning the House and Senate had agreed on the package from both sides. They passed it and now goes to the governor for the governor's signature. 2 provisions might be of interest, particularly to you, Allison June. We used to have these things called pennies, and since we don't have those anymore, this provision was put into law to allow the rounding up of tax amounts so that it doesn't end in a number other than 0 or 5, because people don't have a penny, I guess, anymore to pay their taxes. And if you're involved in sports betting online, now if you win more than $2,000, those companies will have to report those earnings to the State Department of Revenue.
All right, Joe. Also this week, we have Dan Kiger, a Surrey County Republican who was delayed to being sworn in. Republicans accused Governor Stein of delaying the appointment of Kiger to a vacant House seat. They claimed someone from Stein's office said that Kiger's appointment wouldn't be approved unless Republicans agreed to not override some of Stein's vetoes. Ultimately, the next day, Kiger was appointed, and it didn't change any of the Republicans' ability to override the vetoes.
Yeah. Also this week, a couple of things are interesting. Actually, last week I had a chance to talk to a group of young college students participating in a risk management and insurance summer summit put on by the Brantley Center at Appalachian State in Boone. Talked to them a little bit about the insurance regulatory system in our state. Then Monday we had a thinker's lunch. Chris Chung, who's the CEO of the Economic Development Partnership in North Carolina, talked about our state's economic development efforts. Tuesday morning at a breakfast for legislators as part of the Wildlife Crossing Coalition that we're a part of. Looks very favorable to get money in the budget to build bridges and culverts over and under roads so that animals can cross safely without the prospects of being struck by vehicles. And then Wednesday evening, moderated a panel of 3 political science professors who run polling programs on their college campuses to talk a little bit about the 2026 election season.
Yeah, and finally, for our iHill Minute, we have IANC Governmental Affairs Committee member David Smith, who this week represented IANC on a panel hosted by Business North Carolina magazine. It also included representatives of hospitals and medical providers as well.
Hi, I'm David Smith, a benefits professional with eBen and Brown & Brown, and a member of the IIANC Legislative Committee. And I'm proud to be working with the iHill Collective, an initiative of the Independent Insurance Agents of North Carolina. IHEAL exists to advocate for and educate agents, brokers, consultants, and their teams on health insurance and employee benefits issues affecting employers and families across North Carolina. I had the opportunity this week to participate in Business North Carolina's Healthcare Roundtable, where we discussed the current state of healthcare in North Carolina. The conversation included perspectives from physicians, hospitals, nurses, dentists, and others across the healthcare system. But one voice that must be heard and be a part of these conversations is ours, the benefits professionals who work every day with employers and individuals who are actually paying for healthcare in America. And the simple reality is this: healthcare is expensive and the pressure is growing. Hospital consolidation, rising prescription drug costs, Medicare changes, ACA developments, and the ongoing challenges facing employer-sponsored health plans all have a real impact on North Carolina businesses and families. That is why our voice matters. Building on the great work of Joe Stewart and the IIANC Government Affairs team in Raleigh, the IHIL Collective is working hard to make sure that benefits professionals are heard, informed, and supported. Please join us as we strengthen your agencies and help shape the future of healthcare in North Carolina.